Hi, this is Lane8492. This is the only true crime story video I'll be doing today. This is another one out of the state of Florida. This is the case of Florida death row inmate Richard Barry Randolph, who also goes by Malik Abdul Sajjad. The reason for that is that while on death row, Richard Barry Randolph became a Muslim. See, Richard Barry Randolph was convicted in the essay and murder of Minnie Ruth McCollum, who was a convenience store manager, handyway, in Putnam County, Florida during a robbery. As it turned out, Richard Barry Randolph had once worked there. And there were three witnesses, Terry Sorrell and sisters Dorothy Patia and Deborah Patia, who saw Richard Barry Randolph wearing an employee shirt and locking the door on the Handyway convenience store. The women questioned him, wondering why the store was closed where McCollum was at. Apparently, Richard Barry Randolph told the women that McCollum's car had broken down and that she needed to borrow his car. And he informed the women that he had fixed McCollum's car and was going to pick her up. He then left the store. And those three women, they looked into the window of the store. They saw that the security cameras had been pulled out of its normal location, and the wires to those security cameras were on the trash can, which aroused serious suspicion that Randolph's story wasn't adding up. So they called the Putnam County Sheriff's Office and reported the situation. And a deputy responded and arrived and broke a window to gain entry to the store. And there the deputy found Minnie Ruth McCollum, who was alive and moaning, lying on her back, nude from the waist down. And she was transported to the hospital immediately, where unfortunately she didn't survive. However, after Richard Barry Randolph had left the store, he drove to the home of his girlfriend, Norma Janine Betts, who was also the mother of his daughter. Betts testified that Randolph told her he had robbed the convenience store and had attacked McCollum. And also he told her that he was going to a store up in Jacksonville, which isn't too far in Duval County, not too far from Putnam County. And apparently the whole motivation behind this was robbery. He wanted to steal the money from the safe, and when she couldn't get it open, and he apparently attacked her, essayed her, and tried to rob the store. The only thing he took were just, when he couldn't take anything from the safe, he took some lottery tickets, but none of them were of a lottery winner for Richard Barry Randolph. And of course, at a grocery store, while he was waiting for his money advancement, that's when the police moved in and arrested Richard Barry Randolph for the essay and murder of Minnie Ruth McCollum during a robbery. And he was attempting to rob the safe while the manager was attending to the gas pumps, hoping she would not see him. But she saw Randolph at the safe, and that's when the struggle ensued between the two, and he apparently strangled her. Richard Barry Randolph went on trial for the murder of Minnie Ruth McCollum in Putnam County, Florida. He was found guilty and sentenced to death for her murder, and now his execution is set for November 20th. In about 6 days, Florida will carry out the execution of Norman Merle Grimm. And I've already done a true crime story on him. And on November 13th, Florida will carry out the execution of Brian Frederick Jennings, and I did a true crime story on him. And of course, Richard Barry Randolph will be executed about 1 week after they carry out the execution of Brian Frederick Jennings. After the execution of Richard Barry Randolph, Florida will have carried out 17 executions this year, which means Florida has broken its record by double the amount in carrying out death sentences in a year. As I said before in another video, the most death sentences Florida carried out in a year were 8 back in 1984 when they were still using the electric chair, and 8 by lethal injection in 2014. This is Lane 8492. I have an associate's, bachelor's, and master's degree in criminal justice. Hope you enjoy this video and let me know what you think. Thanks.